Previously, on my mission across Madagascar, we hit the country's mountainous northern section, we had to cross endless rivers which slowed our progress to a crawl, and we reached the edge of the jungle. We pick up the mission here as I attempt to get a permit to enter Taratandana National Park. So we're having some problems right now getting through the Madagascar National Parks office. They're just being a little bit awkward now. We've been stuck here for a couple of hours. We just want to get off now because we've got 4 big mountains to climb on this one big mountain range, Taratandana. Okay, so we've not actually been allowed access to the national park here just yet. We've spent all day making phone calls, luckily because we've got signal here, and we've sent an email. We've managed to contact the head boss of the national parks here in Madagascar, sent him an email with a document with the tourism form saying what we're doing, and we're just praying, we're just hoping that he gets back to our email tomorrow morning and it's a yes, so we can just keep going. It's promising because we have been speaking to one of the ladies who's also a big boss. But so we've covered 5 miles today. That's all, you know, not great distance at all. We're forced to camp here because we're not allowed past the entrance, but it is stunning behind me. You know, it's a good place to camp. We're going to get some food down us. We're not going to be negative about today, we're just going to take it on the chin. We've done as best as we can, and hopefully it's a yes tomorrow so we don't have to turn back and head back the way we came to find a different entrance. Later that evening, over dinner, we came up with a plan to get us into the national park if Madagascar's sticky bureaucracy continued to get in our way. So we're all set. We can't get hold of the permit to enter the national park in order to do the biggest mountain. So we're just going to go for it. We won't be in the national park for long. We're going to stay out of the national park for the other mountains because we don't need to go through. But we need to hit the national park for 2 of the major mountains. But we'll probably only be in there for a couple of days. But the officials are telling us to go back to Tana to do loads of paperwork in order to enter the national park, when they've known for a long time, 8 months now, they've known the plan of the expedition and the fact that I need to enter the national park to summit the highest mountain. So they're being pretty ridiculous. It's quite disappointing, and so we're going to do it anyway. We're going to go for it. With everything in place, we just needed one more thing to make this part of the mission a success. So we've got our white chicken, meet Gertrude. He's coming with us up to the highest mountain, and it's traditional that you take a white chicken to the peak of Maramakocho, the biggest mountain. It's to keep the spirits away. They say it protects you, and then you've got to sacrifice, you've got to set him free on top of the mountain, set him free into the wild, and then you take your honey, and you take your rum, you mix them together, have a quick taste, and that's going to allow the spirits allow you to get back down the mountain safely if you do that. So we've got the chicken to get up there safely and the rum and honey to get down safely. So yeah, we've got to keep him well, got to keep him alive and feed him every day. With Gertrude on board, we found a river, snuck across the border and continued our journey deeper into the jungle. So we're off. We managed to leave Mangaindran. We don't have any tickets or permits, but tourism and the national parks have known that I've been planning this expedition now for 8 months. They knew I was attempting to summit Maramakocho. They've not managed to sort it, so we're sorting it ourselves by just leaving and going for it. We've got the white chicken, Gertrude. He's coming along with us to keep the bad spirits away. So we're excited. It's a hell of an adventure. We got held up for the day, but now we're going regardless. We've got everything, all the food, all the water, and already it's looking pretty wild, so it's exciting. For the next few hours, we walked through shallow rivers and wet shrubland, which brought yet another challenge. So we've just picked out some tobacco leaves here from the wild as we're walking past, and we're here in a bamboo shelter right now with a local family. And they've offered us in. We're going to cook some food before we head deeper into the wild, because then there's nothing. And what these are for are to keep the leeches away from you. You've got to get them near the fire, dry them out completely, then crush them up, mix them with ash from the fire, and then rub it all over your skin, and it should keep the well, it will keep the leeches away. And there's going to be plenty of leeches everywhere where we're going to be walking, even dropping off the trees, so we want to make sure we're protected. As we ventured deeper into Tsaratanana National Park, it became even more wild. Soon we left the paths, which halted our progress to less than a mile an hour. Not only was the jungle becoming more dense, the terrain was getting a lot steeper. Making one small mistake at this point would prove to be costly. Okay, so we're really struggling now to get to this mountain. It's been 2 days, and this morning we set off at 8, it's 20 past 12. It's taken us 4 hours 20 minutes to do 1.2 miles. And it's just ridiculously tough, you know, up, down, through the jungle. And we've just stopped now to check our longitude and latitude coordinates to see exactly where we are, because we're slightly disorientated. But we kind of know that it's straight on over the first mountain, and then it's the second, but we just can't get there. The jungle's just too thick. We've got quite an open section here where we're rested, but the rest of it is just crazy thick, and we have got to constantly turn back on ourselves to look for a better path. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Hiking through terrain like this was brutal, but finding somewhere to camp was near impossible. So this is where we camped up last night. We arrived here, and obviously you can see it's thick with bamboo, it's quite dense, and so we had to clear a path where we could put our tent to camp the night. So there was bamboo sticking up through here, so we had to clear that with the machete and put the tent up. And you can see we found 3 spaces, 1 space here, 1 space over there where Max is, and 1 space here where Suzanne and Leva is. And it was a case of set the tents up and get straight in, you know, eat your snacks. We didn't have dinner. We had to eat our snacks, our chocolate bars inside the tent, because the leeches were absolutely everywhere. I was sat outside and I was eating sardines. Next minute I had 4 or 5 leeches climbing up me. So I had to get them off, and then I just went straight inside the tent. I had a good night's sleep, and this morning there's no path. There's only one path, but it leads back in the same direction, and we need to head northeast towards the 8th highest mountain in Madagascar. It's about 1.5 miles away, but it'll probably take us quite a while because it's just so dense and we're constantly having to hack our way through. So but it's exciting, you know, it's a completely different challenge. It doesn't feel like you're in Madagascar anymore, you know, it feels like you're in the bloody Amazon or something. So it's completely different again, which mixes things up. So it is exciting, it's exhilarating, but hopefully we just make good distance, because yesterday we only managed to cover 5.4 miles because we were climbing not only through the jungle but up a steep mountain. It was crazy steep. So you know, it took twice as long. But the weather's staying off. It was raining last night, and when it rains, obviously all the leeches fall off the trees, so I'm going to be covered today. I'm going to make sure none can fall down my top, and so it's important that we all stay covered completely, you know, even tuck our trousers into our socks. But yeah, it's awesome. Oh, it's so frustrating as I struggle to get through the bush. Every bloody branch I hit, Gertrude just moans away, making ugly noises, weird noises that go through me. You know, I try avoiding all the branches, pushing them back at all costs, but sometimes it's just too difficult to do that. And they hit him, and he makes crazy sounds that go right through me. Oh, but we got some good weather today, so we hope to make some good progress. So we truly are now stuck in the jungle. You know, we've been battling it all day, and we've only covered about 3 miles. You know, we woke up at 5:30 this morning as well. There was no choice but to hack our way through the bushes again, and we started climbing up a mountain. And we thought if we make it to the mountain ridge, then maybe it'll be flatter on top, as the contour lines show on the map. And it is flat, but it's just so thick with bamboo, with absolutely everything. You know, we're covering crazy distance, such small distance in such a long time. We thought we'd be at Maramakocho in 4 or 5 days. We're on day 5 and we're still 13 miles away. It's tough going. The past 3 days we've probably covered about 11 miles in 3 days. Yeah, 11 miles. Wow. And Maramakocho's still 13 miles away. And we wanted to try and get there before Tuesday, because it's taboo to climb it on Tuesday. So even if we do arrive Tuesday, we can't even bloody climb the thing, says the locals. We're continuing, we're carrying on. So that's the main thing. And I'm sure we'll get there just in good time. So we've got the tobacco leaves and ash from the fire here, and we've just got to really mix this in and cover our skin. It will keep the leeches away. And there's so many leeches around, it's unreal. You can't even have a peaceful meal outside your tent without the leeches joining you. Cover yourself and the scent keeps the leeches off you. Okay. Whew, good to go. So we've pitched up, we're walking towards the mountain, and we came across a small water source down here, and we thought perfect, because we've not come across a water source in a day or so, and we were all really low. And so we decided to camp here, rehydrate, get some food, because we didn't eat last night. We had no breakfast, we had no lunch except for snacks. And so now that we've camped here, either Lever or Max is going to stay and do some cooking whilst us three get up there. You know, hopefully it should be fairly close. Get to the summit, tick that off the list, and straight back down for food. But yeah, it's taken so far all day to do. What did I say before? What was the mileage? 2.4? 2.4 miles it's taken all day. 2.4 miles, almost 10 hours. That's how tough going that was. But hopefully we're on for better tracks tomorrow. With our bags lighter, we made the final push for the summit and were rewarded an incredible sight. So believe it or not, this here is actually the summit of Ambumbravav. It's the 8th highest mountain in Madagascar. It's my 5th mountain that I've summited. It stands at 2,301 meters, and it's by far the most difficult, unforgiving, brutal mountain that I have ever climbed. And I'm sure it will always stay that way. There can't be a mountain tougher than this for jungle region. But yeah, this is it. Unfortunately, there's no beautiful view because, you know, this isn't your tourist mountain. This is very rarely climbed by locals, let alone by Westerners. There's just nothing. There's no reason to come here. It's desolate, it's remote, it's extreme. And it was tough going. We covered 2.5 miles all day. We've been walking for almost 10 hours and we covered 2.5 miles in those 10 hours. And there was times we had to turn back. The jungle was just too thick. The jungle beat us. We had to turn back and we had to find another way around. But I'm buzzing, as you can tell. We're all excited. We've made it. We just ploughed on, didn't we, Max? We just, you know, and it was tough. It was... Finally. Oh, and I hope the highest mountain in Madagascar isn't as tough.
Yeah,
man.
2.5 miles.
And yesterday, a whole day to do 5 miles. The water's pretty bad, and there's some leeches inside, so we're going to boil the water, make sure it's ready for us to drink and eat with. We've not eaten for... We didn't have food last night, we didn't have breakfast, we didn't have lunch, so let's do it. Well done, team. Woo! Woohoo! Boosh! What mountain's this? I can't do that. Woo! What view can I do it?
You have to jump on a tree. You have to climb the highest tree.
Oh man, look, that'll all just fall away.